Trophy Time TV is sponsored by The Hunting Grounds. Book your dream hunt today. Matthews Archery. Catch us if you can. Keltec. Log on to KeltecWeapons.com. Sitka. Turning clothing into gear.
Alright, good morning guys. It's second morning of the hunt. A bunch of bucks were seen yesterday. Seems like mainly younger bucks. I'm thinking the wind had the mature buck kind of laid up a little bit. Wind's gonna break this morning, gonna be nice and cold. Everything should be just right. So what I'm saying is somebody should come home with a big buck. We'll see if it works out that way.
Morning, Robbie.
Morning. You gonna kill one day, Kevin?
I'm gonna kill two.
Okay.
One for me and one for you.
There you go.
Well, let's start with one. How about that?
What's the game plan this morning, buddy?
We're going to take off right here.
Okay.
At the house.
Okay.
And we roll up this road that's right here, come through the woods. And it comes out right here. We'll come up the fence line. Park right here by these trees.
Right.
Slide right in on this trail right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get in, we'll get to about here. And we'll split up. Two guys will go here, and then two guys will slide down a marked trail right down to that stand.
Okay.
Everybody will be crawled in and set and ready to go.
Fabulous.
The second morning, and it was a lot of fun. Things are starting to break. We saw one nice buck this morning, probably 45 minutes into the hunt. Really good deer, but I think he's 2.5 years old, so what I like to say on that is right buck, just wrong year. He came by within probably 30 yards, something like that. You know, he's probably a 130-inch buck, but I just think he needs another year. Saw a lot of does this morning and had them come through running as if there was a buck chasing them. We never could find the buck. Then we had another doe come barreling through, and there was a little old nubber that was chasing her. I don't know what he thought he was going to do if he caught her. But anyway, this morning, right when we started to get down from the stand, we had a buck grunt, or what a lot of people would call a growl. It's just a real low, like guttural type grunt down in this bottom. This is really thick. We can't see anything in it at all. So we moved over here, tried a little bit of rattling. Didn't have any luck. We're going to go back to camp and get us something warm to eat. Come up with a game plan, go back out this afternoon. Temperature's going to be dropping heavily this afternoon. It's going to be 10 degrees in the morning, so I think this afternoon could be great. Let's go get something to eat.
Okay guys, as you can tell, we're having a good hunt so far. Seen a good bit of activity, just not the right buck. What you're about to do though is you're about to see a little bit about how difficult it is when you're actually trying to go out there and film these hunts. You know, as we're traveling and talking to people, people say all the time, man, I really want to do that. I want to go out and film my hunts, and eventually one day I want to put it on television. Guys, it's way more difficult than what you realize. I've been doing it for a lot of years, and still sometimes things just don't quite come together. So sit back and watch as we get our wires crossed just a little bit.
No. Got him.
I'll tell you about it later. We got another buck over here.
Well, as you can tell, it is some kind of difficult, especially the kind of setup we had. Okay, so what we've got is I'm sitting in a tree, just like I am right now, facing you. And Robbie is directly in front of me, probably 15 feet away. With the tree set up with the stands, we just couldn't get two in there. So Robbie was directly across from me, actually a little bit higher than me. So I'm sitting there and I'm grunting, and we've got all kind of activity. We've got a nice buck over off to my right, probably 7,500 yards away, that's working its way through. And Robbie is looking at that buck, and he thinks that buck has my attention. He can't tell. He's looking through a camera, and all of a sudden I see a good buck coming right at us. I mean, right at us. And so I'm trying to get his attention. I'm like, Robbie, 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 Robbie. And you can't get any louder than that. And the whole time he's filming, and he doesn't know what in the world. You'll hear him actually say, what? The buck comes right behind him. I'm on him the entire time. Could have taken a shot the entire time as the buck's coming in. There's nothing he can do about it. Once he realizes there's a buck there, the buck is directly behind the tree. Then, when he finally realizes it and turns around and gets on the buck, as it's going out, I stop, I go, meh, and stop the buck perfectly. You know, it stops in just the right, perfect spot for me, but not for Robbie. And it's one of those things, he didn't do anything wrong. It's not his fault. It's one of those things, it's just tough. It's two different angles. You know, he's looking at one thing, I'm looking at another, and I'm not going to shoot anything unless we can get it on camera. That's the tough part. I had a perfect shot, 25 yards. He couldn't get it on camera. Then when the buck went away, there was a tree line that as he's going away, Robbie can film him. All I see is a little bit of the deer in and out on the tree. So that's the way it happens, guys. That's just part of it. but we're going to stay after it. So stay tuned. It's going to be nothing but action from here on out, right here on Trophy Time TV. All right, guys, third morning, and I'm fired up, man. It's one of those things where the temperature is just right. It's super cold this morning. Snow was moved in. Yesterday, we saw a lot more activity yesterday afternoon. Everybody's seeing a lot of bucks, just immature bucks. But next door, the property right next door to us, they shot one that's well over 170. You know, I haven't put my hands on the buck yet, but looking at the picture, over 170 for sure. So we know there's big mature bucks. They just we hadn't run into one yet. I feel good about today, so let's just go make it happen. You ready?
Let's do this. Last day, man. It's the only last chance.
You know, last night we're sitting around and Bruce said something about he had a special stand. It's actually where he killed that buck before. As soon as he asked us if we wanted to hunt it, I was like, "Are you kidding me?
No
Heck yeah!"
kidding, yeah.
He said he's seen good activity in here. That's a real thick kind of a drops off into a little bottom. And best I can tell, nobody's hunted it except Bruce.
Yeah, yeah. Well, way to look at the map on there. It's a great funnel. It funnels everything together. And
Yeah.
it funnels stuff from across the road, and they killed 170-some inch deer across the road 2 days ago.
That was a beast,
So,
man.
you know, they're here.
Yeah.
They're
You know,
here.
the thing about it is we've seen so many deer, we just hadn't seen a mature buck yet.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Well, it has to. This is the last afternoon.
Last afternoon, man.
Yeah.
Last chance. Let's go get it
All right,
done.
let's do it.
Got him whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me tell you something, folks. That was awesome. Oh, that was so much fun. Oh, first off, let
me say, Bruce, thank you, buddy. We're in a stand. That's Bruce's stand. He told us there was some good action in here. He needed to get us in here. And he has put us on a great buck. Just came through right in behind a doe. We haven't been in here an hour and a half. This is the last day of our hunt. We have put in so much time. We've hunted so hard. And you know, the thing about it is, it's a great spot. We've seen all kind of activity. We've seen buck after buck after buck with just really young bucks. So it's so good to have this big mature buck come out, give us a good shot. Thank you, Lord, we made a good shot. Put him down right here. Oh, it's been great. We're hunting here with Kevin and Robert and Jeremiah's and on his place. And let me tell you something, we have had a fabulous, fabulous time. It's been cold. It's been really, really cold. This morning it was in the single digits. It was like 8, 9 degrees when we went out with like a 15-mile-an-hour wind. And we froze, but we stayed out there and stayed after. This afternoon is nice. It's in the 20s, like low 20s with a slight breeze. But we just put this thing together and took a great buck right here on Trophy Time. Gosh. Oh yeah, he's down. Look at that. Look at the body on this big son of a gun. Boy, you can smell him too. He's all rutted up. Oh, he has been fighting. Broke off G2s. Something got a hold of him. Look at that. Look at that big old sucker. You know, folks, this is one of those, we took it down to the absolute last day, last afternoon. You hear it all the time, completely true on this hunt. You know, we've had a great hunt. We've seen a lot of deer. When we started off, we were seeing a lot of does, a lot of bucks, but young bucks, mainly just young bucks. And then we had a super cold front move in. You know, this morning it was like 8 degrees, like a 20-mile-an-hour wind. Yesterday it was cold. It was most of the time like in the 20s. Today the high is 20. So we got in here and got set up. Well, let me back it up a little bit. Last night we were talking about everything and kind of going over last day options. And Bruce came walking in. He said, listen, I've got a really good spot. He's already killed a good buck. And he said, and this is his personal stand. He said, you know, I'll let y'all hunt it if you want to. And I'm like, heck yeah, absolutely. And he said, I've seen a lot of activity and seen some good bucks in there. So anyway, he got us set up this afternoon, put us in here, and said, look, it's kind of a thicket that you're going to be hunting. You're going to be up on the side of a hill, and it's going to be real thick in front of you. So you have to be ready because they could come from anywhere. And sure enough, we got in the stand. We hadn't been here 45 minutes, and a little buck came up, and we watched him. He went over here. Then another doe came in, and then probably, I don't know, 30 minutes later, Robbie taps me. He goes, right there, there's a doe coming. Way down in this bottom, we could see a doe, and she was trotting in. You could tell that something was on her. We just didn't know, how big a buck. And we looked back, and this big old bruiser was right behind her. She came up and came within 50 yards of the stand. He worked his way in and gave me an absolutely perfect shot. And I put a good shot on him. He didn't go 10 yards and piled up. So. All right, folks, I can tell you what, that was a wonderful hunt. I had an absolute blast. But, as you can see, the buck that I shot really didn't score very much at all. That's something I want to talk to you about. I've been doing TV for a long time, and in the past what has happened to me is I was blessed to shoot some high-scoring animals. It's just part of it. If you're out in the woods enough and in good areas, it's going to happen. And it got in my head a little bit. And I started thinking each year, well, I shot this last year, what will this buck score? Should I shoot him because I shot a bigger one the year before? And eventually it started to take a little bit of the fun out of it. What I want to talk to you about is the reason I started Trophy Time TV. The reason I started it is I want people to understand that the trophy is based off of the enjoyment of the moment. The trophy is based off of spending time with people you care about, enjoying yourself, and yes, harvesting animals. Yes, as a hunter, we love to be successful, but we've got to enjoy ourselves. And the thing about it is I am all for Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young and SCI. They're wonderful groups, wonderful. And I've always supported all three, but at the same time, you have to understand that you need to enjoy yourself. If it's not fun to you, you need to change things up a little bit. And I've learned to do that. That buck, he's not gonna score anything. I don't care. He's a big, mature animal. That's the only thing that I'm looking for. And that's been a process for me. But I just want you to know that on Trophy Time, what we value is the trophy is based off the moment. It's based off the memories. It's based off everything that happens from the time we get there to the time we leave. And if we harvest a big animal, that's a bonus right there. That's all it is. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Look forward to seeing you next week right here on Trophy Time TV.
Trophy Time TV is sponsored by The Hunting Grounds. Book your dream hunt today. Matthews Archery. Catch us if you can. Kel-Tec. Log on to keltecweapons.com. Sitka, turning clothing into gear.